guys, Black Money here, and I am back with another YouTube video. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about Black women swirling. So it's kind of a heavy subject if you make it a heavy subject, so let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about Black women swirling because there have been 3 Black women in the media lately who are celebrities. First there was Serena Williams, who married the white man, and they have a beautiful baby girl together now. Congratulations goes to them for that. But there was Serena Williams, and as of lately I've noticed Gabourey Sidibe, who played Precious in the Oprah and Tyler Perry film Precious. And then there was recently Jodie Turner, who played Queen from the new film Slimming Queen. So all of these Black women are now with white men. They're publicly, you know, came out in public with their men. You know, Serena's married now. Jodie Turner came out with her boyfriend. You know, they went public together. And Gabourey Sidibe, who played Precious, recently came out and just went public with her boyfriend as well. So there's this thing with swirling in the Black community, and I'm just going to give my honest opinion on it. For those who are living under a rock and do not know, swirling is when you have someone from the dominant society, that being Caucasian, dates someone who is of African descent. So, you know, basically when Black people and white people get together, you know, they consider that swirling, and that's been the term that it's been called, like, on the streets or whatever. So that's what it is. And the history of the Black community, starting off from when we were emancipated, and even before then, you know, it was a death sentence to date someone of the dominant society. It would get you lynched or, you know, brutally killed. And you know, of course that isn't right. You know, people who happen to date or people who happen to meet someone and fall in love, someone of the dominant society, you know, they don't deserve that, you know. So we've come a long way since then, but honestly I don't think we've come far enough. I think between Black women and Black men swirl more, perhaps. It's been said, like, oh, when a Black man, you know, becomes successful, the best thing that, you know, you can give a Black successful man is a white woman. So, you know, that's kind of weird, but okay, you know, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, so there have been things said about swirling in the Black community. I do think Black men swirl more, and even though it's not like accepted amongst everyone in the Black community, I do think when Black men swirl, it's more accepted than when Black women swirl. Okay, because let's look at Black Hollywood. And the number of Black men that you have dating white women is substantial. And there are things said about it, but not really, you know. And if anything's ever said to the Black guy, I mean, when you get people in Black Hollywood who swirl, they don't have any problem bashing Black women. And I'm not with that. Date who you want, but don't trash Black women, you know. And to white women who are looking to date outside their race, I don't necessarily think that anything's wrong with that. I don't think that you should be dating a man who bashes his own people. Like, don't become that for that man. You know, he's obviously not, you know, all the way healthy in his thinking patterns. So maybe you shouldn't want to procreate with that type of person. You know, I don't want somebody fetishizing my skin. Don't just like me because I'm not Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have somebody like you for who you are. Don't just date this broken Black man who wants you just because you're not Black. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're more than a non-Black woman. You know, like, that's my only thing when it comes to swirling either way. Rather if it's Black women swirling or Black men swirling, I don't really care. it just annoys me when you happen to approach someone about it or have a conversation about it, and then all of a sudden now they're bashing Black women. Like, that's not necessary. You know, we could really do without that. That's not really necessary. Leave that. But other than that, I don't have any problem with either side swirling, you know. And I don't think it's what the media makes it seem like, oh, it's just happening everywhere. Like, it's happening enough for us to notice it within our own communities. But I do think that at least half, maybe more than half, Black men still date Black women. Like, that's what I think. I think that they're pushing this agenda on us, so all we see are these interracial relationships, but I don't think that's what it is on a mass majority. I don't think it's like that, but we see it enough that we notice it within our own communities, wherever, you know, you guys happen to live. I'm sure you guys see it, and I see it as well. And I just want to say that Serena Williams, as well as Gabby Sidibe, were always like put down in the Black community. Like, you know, like, these weren't the type of Black women that Black men were lining up to date. You know, like, Serena Williams would get a lot of comments about her behind from a lot of Black men, you know, who didn't respect her. Made a lot of comments about her butt or her body's so great, but they were not trying to date this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got a lot of hate. A lot of people said she looked like a man. You know, like, there were a lot of comments about Serena Williams looking like a man. Okay, then all of a sudden she pops up with this white man, and then she marries this white man, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, Serena gave up on us brothers, you know, she switched teams and this, that, and the third, when truth be told, Black men were not lining up to date her. And the same thing goes with Gabby. Gabby played Precious. Precious, that character played by Gabby, was a joke amongst the Black community for years. For years, people joked about her and how she looked and how she was overweight. So let's just keep it a bean. Black men were not lining up to date her. She wasn't on their radar. Black men were not lining up to date her. So now that she's come out with her boyfriend, who happens to be of the dominant society, I don't see why that's an issue. Her man white, you know, it's not like Black men were in line to date her. She was a running joke in the Black community for years, just for being dark skinned, for being what they considered not attractive, for being overweight, and for basically being in that movie and being, you know, portrayed the way she was. Like, Black men didn't want her until white men did. And that's how I feel about all of these women: Serena Williams, Gabby Sidibe, and Jodie Turner, who played Queen in the latest movie Queen and Slim. I don't feel like, the same thing with me, I don't feel like Black men are lining up to date Black women, dark-skinned Black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have this this look as if you're racially ambiguous for a lot of these guys who are chasing this fantasy. You know, meanwhile their mamas don't look anything like that, but they're chasing this fantasy. So I just don't understand the negative comments that these particular Black women have received and other Black women like them receive from the Black community, particularly Black women. When you already know how it is as a Black woman, you know, when you're dark skinned, you know, you're trying to love yourself. Maybe you are overweight, maybe you're not. You have African features, you know, that you have, and we have so much brokenness within the Black community. And I just don't see the issue with Black women, number one, learning to love themselves, and number two, I don't really believe that Black women should wait around for Black men to love them. I just don't agree with that. If you want to look elsewhere, I think that that is your God-given right. As a Black woman, you have as much right to do that as a Black man. And if you want to look outside the race for love, more power to you. You know, especially if you happen to be overweight, or especially if you have more African features, or especially if you're wearing your natural hair, or especially if you're a dark-skinned woman. You know, I don't think that you should only think that your options for love are within the Black community. I think that you should, you know, be open to the entire globe. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with these particular Black women finding love outside the race. It's just, it's really disheartening, the sort of comments that they've received and the hate that they've received when Black men were not lined up to date them. So I don't see the problem with them looking elsewhere. You know, it is what it is. And if it's good for Black men to swirl, it has to be as equally as good for Black women. I really just wanted to share my thoughts on that, because reading some of the things that people have been saying to these women, especially Gabby, is really, it's just heartbreaking, and she doesn't deserve that. This woman was single forever. All of her career that we knew her, she was single, and now she's found love. More power to you, Gabby. I wish you all the best. When it comes to Black women and swirling, you know, every Black woman has to decide what, you know, she's willing to do for her love life, and what she is going to do versus what she isn't going to do. And if you decide to look outside your own community, make sure you're looking for the right reasons. Do not look to be fetishized. Like, you should not want someone who only wants you because you're not Black. You shouldn't want someone who only wants you because you have good hair. Like, just like we are more than our skin and we are more than our hair, you know, women of other races are as well. So if you're looking to date outside your race, I think that you should just do it for the right reasons. And of course, you should still be open to finding someone within your own community. But if it doesn't happen that way, then it doesn't happen that way. And I don't think that people should be subject to hate and online bullying because they chose to open their eyes and find love elsewhere. It is what it is. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video, Black women swirling, and I'll see you guys in the next one.